But the quality is to develop the quality of being unstoppable. Develop the quality of being unstoppable. Say in yourself that no matter what life throws at me, it'll never stop me. No matter how rough it gets, I will never quit. And nothing will ever stop me. Make the decision that you can be tired, you can be worn out, but nothing is ever going to stop you. That's a wonderful decision.
Don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner.
If you want to win in struggle, it won't come overnight. You got to learn how to be patient and long-suffering, because it's only through patience and long-suffering that you will reach the goal. Hear me? That is the natural way of things. What you must understand, that in the process of evolution and growth, it attends with pain. Nobody grows without pain.
The thing they don't tell you is the long way is the shortcut, because the shortcut never gets you there. And so people quit when things get hard because the thought of things being hard forever feels unbearable. But that's a lie, because nothing's hard forever. You either quit, it gets easier, or you get harder. But no matter what, the hard always ends. And the only way you lose is if you quit before seeing it through. And so what I try to tell myself when I'm in those kind of harder times is, this is for now, not forever.
Do whatever is required. Just go out there. It's possible you can get what you want. It's necessary. If you want it, you got to go into action. You got to be willing to experiment. You got to be willing to fail and to succeed. You got to be willing to form and to develop new relationships. It's you, it's on you. You got to make that happen. Nobody's going to bring it to you on a silver platter and say, here's your dream manifested. No, it's hard. Yes, it's hard.
You're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of what other people will think of you if you fail. But if you're afraid of that, imagine what they think of you when you aren't even trying. Oh yeah, they aren't.
My father used to tell me, a focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius. And so your most valuable asset isn't your time, it's your attention. A man with time and distractions will always lose to a man with a deadline and a singular focus. And so it's never been easier to be successful than it is today. It's just also never been easier to be distracted.
Fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big.
Choices we make, our character is defined by the choices we make on a moment-to-moment basis. It all adds up to the win. And don't give me that shit. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game, all that bullshit. If that was so true, then why are there scoreboards? Why do people give a shit and keep score of anything? Man, always you will win. Always you will win. Sometimes you'll win immediately. But always definitely. You know what that means? You might not win it today, but your efforts done today, even the failure felt today, are all measures that create the moment later. And if you failed on the way back and got there, and you got knocked down, found that this was for to get back up, try that same endeavor, then you find yourself victorious in that endeavor, that's the sweetest victory of all. That builds a confidence that's unbreakable.
You already know who you are. And that peace that we're after, lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with form all you want, but to find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory.
So just over the years, I've just learned to Just be empty. Basically, just be empty in there, empty of thought, empty of emotion, empty of anything, and just trust your reaction.
So the 1 second decision is, I had to live through that 1 second decision several times during this race. So this race took me 100 and some hours, okay? And this is what people don't get. For you to finish that race, even though I DNF'd, I still finished in the time. So there's a lot of pride in that. If you're 100 and some odd hours, let me use Hell Week. This is a perfect example. Hell Week's 130 hours. And 130 hours is a lot of seconds. A lot of fucking seconds. And if you lose, let's say you win every second but one, you lost. It only takes 1 second for you to lose the whole thing.
Figure out what you want. Ignore the opinions of others. Do so much work, it would be unreasonable that you fail. Realize it never mattered to begin with. Help others once you get there. You've already achieved the things you said would make you successful.
I just dream. I dream. I have dreams, and dreams is they should be pure. I think a lot of times when we're born into this world, we actually wind up going backwards. And it seems like the more we mature, the more responsible our dreams become, and the more governors we put on ourselves and our ability to dream and to reimagine. And it's always a fight for us parents and for you guys to make sure that your dreams always stay pure. And so it's not a matter of pushing beyond your limitations or expectations. It's really a matter of protecting your dreams, protecting your imagination. That's really the key. And when you do that, then the world just seems limitless.
We've all started a new year with big goals. This is the year I'm finally going to start that business. This is the year I'm going to lose the weight. This is the year I'm finally going to launch that podcast. Every January, people make goals. New body, new job, new business, new life, new you. And by February, most of them are gone. But get this, only 1% said they lasted for 11 or 12 months. Not because you don't care, but because the dreams we build are built on excitement, not systems. Real manifestation isn't wishing and waiting. It's wiring. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you build a system for. And that requires a plan that rewires your mind, your emotions, your habits to match your vision.
You need to be patient with outputs and impatient with inputs. So let me unpack that. Patience in general is figuring out what to do in the meantime. So when someone says, hey, be patient, what they just mean is figure out something else to do in the meantime. And so if I'm telling you to be patient with outputs, it means that you basically just have to figure out something else to do in the meantime while you wait for outputs to occur. Because you can't output, money doesn't appear. You have to do something and then money happens, right? But the doing something part is the thing that you can control. The money happening is the part that you don't control. That comes afterwards. It's an outcome, right? And so when I say patient with outputs, that's the first part. The second part is impatient with inputs. And so if being patient is figuring out what to do in the meantime, impatience is doing the thing in the meantime, right? And so it's the opposite of that. It's the thing you do in the meantime. And so if you want to be impatient with the input is the thing. That's the action you do. And so by delineating that, if you hear yourself thinking, man, why hasn't this happened yet? You're talking about outputs. And that means, great, if I think that thought, I need to do more of this input, right? And so use your input, your action, your doingness, the thing you use your hands for as your coping mechanism for your impatience with outputs.
It's hard to be comfortable with yourself, so it's very hard to be comfortable with other people. That's why I always stress with people, like, you've got to accept yourself for what you've done wrong. Do your best, and also find some difficult shit to do, because that gets away a lot of the anxiety that you carry around in your body. A lot of difficult things make regular life less difficult. And that sounds so simplistic, but particularly physically difficult things. Because when you do things that are physically difficult, the strain of making yourself do those things It's very valuable. It's not just valuable like exercise and fitness and martial arts and running and whatever you're doing that's really difficult. It's not just valuable in terms of like health and the way you look, but it's also valuable for your mind, maybe even more so. Because regular life can be confusing, and little things that go wrong and little problems that arise are exacerbated by the fact that you're not accustomed to dealing with hardship. So creating your own bullshit, whether it's through fucking some brutal kettlebell exercise or running up hills or something, is extremely valuable for you also, not just accepting the nuanced perspectives of other people, but also being able to navigate through this world with some sort of an understanding of just how complex it all is and how weird it all is, and not be overly thrown off by every little dip in the road and pothole that you encounter.
The more I trained my mind to expect the challenge, to expect the pain, and I felt more joy in doing that, and I felt more confident in myself for showing up, because I was doing what I truly felt that I should be doing in this life. Not like, oh man, I wish I could be doing something else. And the pain didn't go away. It's just, I finally gave my pain meaning. I gave my pain meaning. Now, when you think of challenges, and I think about challenges and I look at them, it's like, yeah, that's gonna be a hill to climb. That's gonna be hard, but I see them as a good thing. They're gonna make me better. And I remember that this is the price I pay for the future that I want. I have to be willing to pay that price. And the weight might be heavy, but carrying that weight's gonna make me strong. And so you have to understand, there's pain either way, but it's way more painful to do something that you don't love for the rest of your life. And so I rewrote what pain meant inside of my head. And so ultimately, I want you to understand this. The most important part of all of this was, as I was doing all this, I started to fall in love with who I was becoming.
That's the heart of a champion right there. They never say it's the bicep of a champion, the ego of a champion. There's always the heart of the champion that matters. Because at the test of time, one of the most strenuous adversities of life, it's the heart and the headstrong ability to keep the pulse going, of belief when the body is shut down physically. Mentally, you survive and push through it. The heart of a champion.
I think the best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. But you always want to outwork your potential. As hard as you believe you can work harder than that. And that's what I tried to do when I first came in the league. But basketball is such a direct competition sport that me coming in at 17, I hated when like my teammates would say, I get hit with an elbow, right? Shaq would hit me with an elbow in practice, and Nick Van Exel would come up and say, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, what? Wow, are you okay? What the hell's wrong with you?" So like I always had that extra chip on my shoulder. So like every day in practice for me was really trying to annihilate everybody that I was playing against. Because I wanted to prove you don't need to babysit me. Like I'm fine, And so it's always that competitive nature, the work ethic, and curiosity.
Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it.
You don't need more willpower, you need fewer friction points. Success isn't about trying harder, it's about designing smarter. If your environment is full of noise, you'll forget what your own voice sounds like. If your environment is filled with clutter, your mind will mirror the mess. If your environment is built on chaos, peace will always feel like a luxury. If your environment is full of doubt, confidence won't survive there. If your environment is small, your vision will start to shrink to fit it. If your environment is lifeless, your motivation will follow. There's a reason why the phrase, "you are a product of your environment," is so well know, because it's true. If you're surrounded by books, you'll read books. If you're surrounded by screens, you'll be distracted. That's how it works. That's how the brain works. And then you're forcing yourself, pushing yourself, driving yourself, and which maybe you'll do for 3 days if you're lucky, maybe 3 weeks if you're really lucky, but you're always working against yourself. Step number 5, break the all or nothing cycle. Instead of asking, did I fail? Ask, what can I learn? Instead of starting over, pick up from where you left off. Progress is built in the messy middle, not the perfect start.
Questioning who you are, wondering what is possible, wondering what you are capable of doing. That's how that looks. Or you can be me, which, am I happy? I don't know. Never really thought about it. Don't really care about it. Because all I really cared about was when I looked in that mirror, I saw a piece of shit. Happiness wasn't on the mirror at 16. Or when I was 300 pounds. It wasn't like, oh, I'm looking for happiness. No, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and say, all right, did it again today. You're a bad boy. Because that shit sucks. I have about a couple minutes of that where I got the carrot. The second I lay down and go to bed, the carrot's gone because I'm waking up all through the night to check the work I did that day. Did I get this drug right? Did I get this right? Did I get that right? What did I do? Oh my God, I'm already losing it. Stick.
And you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because there's too much fucking pain and commitment. You were scared you were gonna fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it. Until something fucking hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you of what you could have been. And then the fucking spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never gonna be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even if it gets knocked down, you just keep going, you're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet. That can happen at an early age, it can happen at a later age. It's gonna happen to somebody no matter what, it's gonna happen to you. And when it does happen to you, thank your lucky stars that finally you're alive. It's time to unwrap the potential you can be.
Nobody knows what you can do but you. Nobody can tell you. If I tell you all the people who told me I wasn't gonna act or sing or dance, or I wasn't good at it, or I should stop, or I should quit, or even after I became famous, for doing these things, I would be locked in a house somewhere doing nothing. The truth is, nobody knows what's inside of you. Only you know what's inside of you. Only you know what you can accomplish.
People want you to do well, but not better than them. And I was like, I had gone from underdog to the man. And I was like, when does that happen? And the litmus test of when it happens depends on who the person is. Because for the person who was working at my gym who, was a janitor or a cleaner, it happened really quick, right? For the people who were more successful, it took longer. And then, the only people at the end who would still root for me were the business owners who were doing way better than me, right? Who were still members of my gym. And so that was a really interesting experience that happened when I was 23. And that was the first time I went from underdog to the person that someone would want to attack. But I had a performance coach tell me this. He said, hatred isn't something you avoid. He said, it is a requisite for success. He said, if you get no hate, you are not successful. And for some reason, that just really stuck with me, because then it just rather than it being this thing that I was trying to avoid, it actually became a leading indicator, or an indicator that I was on the right path in achieving things.
Who are you on those days you don't want to do things? It's easy to conquer when it's good weather. You got good sleep. Work's going good. The family's good. You feel great. Your body's not injured. Those are the easy days to conquer. But who are you on the days when all hell's broke loose? You're sore. You're depressed. You're miserable. You're not the favorite person at school. You might be getting bullied. You might be falling behind in life. Who are you on those days when shit's all fucked? That's the great divide. Those people who get up on those days when everything's still grind, that's the separator right there. Stay home.
It's serious whether you win or lose. It's serious whether you succeed or fail. It's serious whether you've got a good future carved out for yourself or you do not have. These are serious matters. Matters of the heart are serious. Matters of income are serious. Matters of supporting your family, serious.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to. We have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
People demand success, but refuse to work weekends. People want opportunity, but won't talk to strangers. People claim ambition, but sleep in every day. We are the result of our actions, not our aspirations.
I think once you've actually learned how to try, really try, one thing for an extended period of time, every single day, and taken all of your discretionary effort and your money and your time and your resources and put it towards just doing that thing, number one, you realize how few things you can really do well because of the amount of time that it takes. The second thing is you realize how easy it is to beat everyone else because of how few of them actually do that.
Whatever we say is what our life will be. And so if we are saying, I don't have enough money, then by law of attraction, we will not have enough money. We will continue to not have enough money. So what we have to do is we need to speak about what we want. And we need to talk about, for example, if it's money or if it's health or if we're not feeling really great, then we can talk about what it feels like to be really well instead of talking about not being well, right? Because if we're talking about not being well, we're attracting more of that, more of that, more of that.
Manifesting is not thinking thoughts and then hoping that they come true. Thoughts become things only when your thoughts inspire you to take the actions to get those things. That's where manifesting comes in. Manifesting is preparing your mind, body, and spirit to help you take the actions to get those things. Manifesting is socializing your mind, preparing your mind, rehearsing your mind to help you take the steps before you take the steps so that you can get what you want. When you use manifesting properly, what you do is you remove the obstacles of self-doubt, of resistance, of being cautious, of focusing on tiny minutia, of feeling blank and overwhelmed. You remove all that crap and you retrain your mind and you retrain your nervous system and you retrain your spirit to help you get the things that you want in life.
When you know what you want and you make a committed decision, you are on an exciting trip. See, when you see yourself as what you want, you put your mind on the frequency that it has to be on, and you're going to attract everything you need, and you'll get it right on schedule. Not when you want it, probably. You'll get it as you need it. Do you know the only prerequisite to getting what you want? Is you got to want it.
The door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind opens up as we get beyond our analytical mind. And our analytical mind is actually what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind. So as you slow your brainwaves down, you get into alpha, you're entering the operating system. And that's where you can rewrite a new program. That's where you can rehearse a new script. Some people can get to the point where they're so relaxed that the body's in a light sleep, and yet they're conscious and awake, and now they're in this theta brainwave pattern. And in theta, it's a hypnotic state. We're very suggestible to our thoughts. We're very suggestible to information in that state. And that state then is where we see the most change take place. A person can literally change from the inside out when they learn how to get into the operating system.
The secret is your mindset. Wealthy people understand the power of artifacts, physical items. Everything in the universe vibrates. Science knows this. This is not me saying it. So gold vibrates at a certain frequency. Silver vibrates at a different frequency. Everything in the universe is frequency and vibration. So if you have a particular item that resonates or vibrates or puts out a frequency, it's going to physically affect your body. We know this, so it can help you broadcast on that wealth wave, that billionaire brainwave.
I think the true test of whether you're a quote perfectionist or not is if everyone else in the room says it's exceptional, and then you say, but oh no, it's not, because I don't think it's exceptional yet. If you still break what everyone else believes is beautiful so that you can make the thing that you make it the way you want it to make, or make it the way you want it to be, I think that is probably like the truest test of whether or not you really do value your own opinion over those of other people's. And if you really want to be true to, quote, the art, whatever your art is, art, I'm using it as a generic term, it could be the career or even like the financial projections that you're supposed to do at your company. Like, there is a way you could do it and do it absolutely fucking excellent, and there's a way you could do it that you could phone it in and probably not get in trouble. But the thing is that you'd know, and then you'd be the type of person who always phones it in, and that to me is disgusting. And that would make me disgusted with me, and that is the thing that would make me want to peel my skin off, because I would hate me. And I think that's why so many people do hate them, because they do settle and they do make these things and they do know and still ignore it. And so they ignore the man in the other room who's playing his throat, and they shut the door and they lock it and they never let that guy in. And so they look like everyone else, they act like everyone else, they get what everyone else gets.
When you are working toward a goal, your self-confidence goes up, your energy goes up, you actually become more intelligent, you have more self-esteem and self-confidence. So this feeling of forward movement is one of the most important success secrets in the world. Successful people are always moving toward something important to them. And the feeling of movement makes them happy. It releases endorphins in your brain, which cause you to be more creative, more positive, stronger, more powerful.
When you're not feeling good, you are naturally just going to attract bad stuff to you. What is feeling? Feeling, conscious awareness, how you feel. Is conscious awareness of the vibration you're in. And if you're not feeling good, you're in a bad vibration. You know that wham, just like that, you can change the vibration. This body you're living in is a molecular structure, and it's in a very high speed of vibration. Everything vibrates, nothing rests.
So I think the greatest belief that we could ever have is our belief in ourselves and our belief in possibility. And I think that has to be earned. That has to be earned. You gotta show up for you enough times where you have that belief, you earned it. It's not like you do something in one day. The person who heals from a health condition finally says, oh my God, I thought this couldn't work for me. They show up every day. They're showing up every single day, because if they don't show up, then they don't believe it's possible. And they have to show up to prove to themselves that it is. And some of those people did their meditation for a year, and they earned that belief in that future. And of course, the effect was they had that moment that looked like, oh my God, that person just healed. Well, they've been walking the yellow brick road for the last year, and they never missed a day. And they'll tell you, the meditations I remember the most were the hard ones, not the easy ones, the ones where I had to sit with myself and I would not give up. Those are the ones that mattered the most, because that's what got them to that point, right? It was the overcoming process.
Control freak is a word people with low standards use to describe people with high standards. You're not a control freak. You just want it done right the first time. You're not anxious. You care. Do not expect mediocre people to support world-class goals.
The more trust you have in your superconscious mind, the faster it works for you. And the more calm and confident you absolutely believe that something will show up. And the more you practice with it and the more confidence you have, the faster it works for you. Pretty soon it gets to the point where you can think a thing and realize it very, very quickly. I used to do this when I was first understood this, and long-distance charges were very high back in the 80s, because I would visualize the person I needed to talk to on the other side of the country, and they would phone me. And I could do this over and over again. Rather than me phoning them for 30 or 60 minutes, I'd visualize and they'd phone me. I just put it into the superconscious mind, and I say, he or she will call by 11:30. By 11:30, the phone rings. And do this over and over again. And the more confidence you have that it will work, the more rapidly it works for you. It merely requires a step of faith, a mental step of faith.
Any thought, any plan, any goal, any idea that you can hold continuously in your mind must be brought into reality by the superconscious. This is the reason for the greatness of every man and woman who ever lived, every great leader, writer, author, poet, or business person, and you can tap into this at will simply by defining with crystal clarity exactly what it is you want, and then thinking only about what you want, keeping your mind only on what you desire, and keep it off of everything else until it comes into your reality.